Hey everybody, welcome to the Unscripted Hour. My name is Josh, and I just want to do a continuation off of my previous video, which was money making money. And to get there, we have to start with saving and some of the methods. One of the methods that I do want to start off with talking about is the 50, 30, 20. And to use this method, you want to realize your net income and split it between the percentage of 50 being your needs, the 30 being your wants, and the 20 is now going to go into savings. And we will split that whether it's between debt, saving, and investing. If we have any debt, we're going to pay all of that debt off before we get to saving. Because if we wait any longer, or if we extend how we're paying off that debt, we're actually spending more money. We want to spend that, pay that debt off, get rid of it. We don't want to see it no more. So once we realize our percentage of the 50% needs, and this is, bills, utilities, rent, mortgage, buying food for the house, medical expenses, kids. That's all in the needs. Then we have the 30% of the wants, and that goes into partying, having a good time, going out to eat 5 times a week, buying all them sneakers, all them clothes, too many vacations. And what I'm not saying that we cannot do these things. I'm saying we have to be smart with our money, knowing how much we make, and knowing that we have enough to pay for the bills, knowing we have enough to go have a little bit of fun, and knowing that we can still save at the end of this. We don't want to be paycheck to paycheck or not having any money days before we even get paid, and we're building up debt on credit cards. So if we're using credit cards, we're using credit cards for rewards, points, cash back. And maybe that'll be a future video I'll talk about. But in this video, we're talking about saving. So a good way to save, and I like to save, is just auto do these things. You can have an account, I'll put in the description below, where you can just set it up and forget about these things. Set it up, okay, you want to take out. And what I do is I do it on payday. So you don't notice it, you won't realize it. It's not really that much of a hurt piece to you. So if you want to take out $20 as soon as you get paid, $30 as soon as you get paid, $50 as soon as you get paid. And if you get a raise from your job, get your savings a raise. So let's just say if we are saving $50 and we're making a certain income and things like that. If we get a raise at work, maybe we should give our savings a raise too, where we're now saving $52, $55 a paycheck. So you can also auto set that too. So that's one thing that I did, was when I did get a raise at work, I gave my savings a raise. And like I said, the best way to do this is when we first get paid, because you get money and you don't really realize it right away, especially if you take out $30 of your paycheck, $20 of your paycheck, $50 of your paycheck. Let's do this, 2 or 3 times a month. That's even, let's say if you did 50, that's $100 you saved a month, and you didn't even realize you saved this money. So that's something that I do like to do. I auto save every time I get paid, and I auto invest every beginning of the week. And I don't mean that I'm always buying stock every Monday. What I mean is I'm setting money aside for my portfolio of buying power. So I'm building this up to save. So a lot of times people are like, I need all this money to save, to invest, where you can actually save to invest your money. And in the description below, I'm going to also put this app where you build your buying power. They actually pay you interest on your buying power. You can't beat that. So that's like another savings account. So to have your savings account paying you interest, to invest and hopefully make 6 to 10% in the market, and if you have your money sitting there until you figure out what stock you want to buy, because you might not know what stock to buy at the moment, so you can build up buying power. So if you did this every week, if you did, let's just say $50, another $50. So you did $50 for your savings, $50 for your investments, right? So if we do this every week, we do this 4 times, by the end of the month, we saved up $200 to invest. And we didn't even realize that. It's just sitting there. So we have buying power of $200 by the end of the month. Because if we did it for 2 weeks, that's $100. Simple math. We're doing math today. So we can set the account to just auto invest, to auto save, where we don't have to worry about this. So that's one of the things I like to do, and I'm always saving. So another thing, this is not a part of the 50, 30, 20, but I'll round up. So in this account, I can also round up. And what that means is if I spent $50 on my debit card, the other 50 cent, if I spent $50. If I spent 50 cent on my debit card, the other 50 cent will round up and go into my savings account. So we already started off, as soon as I got paid, saving. And throughout, I'm spending anything that rounds up to the nearest dollar. If I spend 97 cents, that other 3 cents is going into my savings to the nearest dollar. So every time I'm spending, I'm saving. And if I have anything left over, after, because I also calculated my spending, my needs, my wants, and my savings already. So if I have anything left over, if I was really money, manageable, and I didn't go into my paycheck with nothing, I should have something left over. I'm now going to save this. So I saved in the beginning, I saved throughout spending, and then I saved in the end right before I got paid. And if we could have these qualities, you're going to be in a good financial situation. I can't steer you in the right direction. I can only tell you to try these things out. These are things that I'm trying out for myself, and it has been wonderful for the last 4 years. Like I said, I was starting, no one taught me. I didn't have a financial advisor. I just stepped into the water. Sometimes it was too hot, and sometimes it was too cold. And right now, I'm kind of finding out where it's just right. And I'm just trying to share my knowledge. Like I said, this is a platform where we just deserve. I've been just deserving, from being good with my money to being, good with learning good ancient history and all of that good stuff, and just trying to be, a well-rounded person with learning. So this is a platform where we learn, we apply, and I want you to take everything that you heard today and apply it. You know, cut some things out, cut some subscriptions out that you don't need, and just realize, what do you really need in your 50%? What are some things that you want that you have to adjust your lifestyle for? Because you might have to adjust your lifestyle. So sometimes the 50-30-20 does not work, where you might have to adjust it to 60-20-20. Maybe 60% of your income have to go towards bills. Like, you have, your bills is just so high. So now you have to change. One of the things I talked about was self-inflation, where we spend more because we make more. Now we have to take that 30% and decrease it to 20%, and we have to adjust our lifestyle to not spend so much. You know, cut that coffee out in the morning. I had to cut the coffee out in the morning. So it's just, these are things that you have to learn just to be better with your money and things like that. So when the 50-30-20 doesn't work, it just means it just have to be adjusted. Whether it's the 60-20-20, maybe where your situation is that it's just too much. Maybe you have to go back home for a year, or if you have that, um, if you have that possibility, because some people can't go home. But if you have that and you can go back with your mom or your dad for a little bit, take that opportunity to save. Now we're saving 80%, because your bill shouldn't be that much. You should be paying some, rent to wherever you at, you're staying and things like that. But it's not as high as to when you was living on your own. So this is the perfect time to save and invest and pay off all the debt that you do have. So I want to finish off with starting by stating that the 50-30-20 is a great thing to use, where 50% is your needs. Realize what your needs are. Your 30% is your wants. Realize what your wants are. And this is easy because your needs is something that's more difficult depending on the area you're in, and you know, things, your circumstances. If you're living on your own, or if you have kids, or if you're old, if you're young, or if you have to take care of others, that that calculates all under needs, and it could be different to everybody. Your wants, you can adjust. Everybody can adjust what they want. And I feel like that's an easy task, to realize what you can realize. Okay, this is something that I have to have, and this is something that I can easily cut out to have more money. You know, as soon as I started making these videos again, I cut a lot of things out. Things that are, I don't need, so that I can have a little bit of extra money to save and invest, and make sure that in the next couple of years, my family are, well taken care of. So that's the goal. So I want y'all to leave with this video understanding how to use the 50-30-20, and really just applying it, and knowing that it's not hard. Like, we don't want to make saving seem like it's a chore, or it's something that's impossible. Like I said, we start off with these things like autos, having it auto done, having it auto a certain day, pick a day. It could be a Friday, a Monday, and just set it, go onto the app and just have it done. forget about it and just check it from time to time and just see, okay, what interest is you making on the money you're saving? What interest you're making on your investments? Because, like I said, once you start to figure out how to save and then put that money into accounts that can make more money, it's addictive. It's the biggest addiction in the world. Is better than smoking and getting high and drinking and any addiction. To me, to see the money that you have just make it just multiply on its own. You don't do nothing. You put it there and it multiplies. It's an incredible feeling. So when you learn this and you do it and you see it, the feeling is wonderful. So I want y'all to just take the knowledge that I gave y'all today. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just someone that has taken a journey on financial literacy. You can join me on this. Um, this is just not a financial talk that I want to have. It's a motivational thing. Like, how can we get to the next level? How can we get there? How can we move up? How can we progress? We're not going backwards. So I want y'all to leave with this video knowing that it starts now. Peace.